Alright, we are live. Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since I uploaded my last video. I got some positive feedback. I had a lot of people talk to me about it. I had just taken a break. I had a lot of stuff going on. It kind of just slipped by the wayside, but it's something I'm really interested in, and I would like to continue going through basically conspiracy theories and different conspiracies, talking about whether or not they have any validity, or if there's parts of it that could be true, or whether or not the whole thing seems false. I just kind of like to stay semi objective. Some conspiracies are true, a lot of them aren't, but I like evaluating them and going through it. And I hope that you'll watch, and eventually I can make a career out of this. So, channel name, Truth or Foil, that's what it's going to be. We go through, we'll look. Is it truth? Is it foil? Who knows? As you may be able to tell from my previous setup, my previous videos, I got a GoPro that I'm kind of using as a webcam, kind of makeshift. I was doing parkour stuff, so we got a GoPro to like record stuff, and I was like, hey, I can use this as a webcam. That's what we're doing. So you can also tell I need a shave and a haircut, but don't need that to talk about a video. And then right there, got a condenser and a mic. So hopefully everything sounds better. Hopefully everything looks better. I'm sitting in my little jank setup instead of my previous setup. My younger brother moved back from Florida, and he's staying with me in my house. So for right now, just is what it is. Hopefully no one cares that I have a reclining pillow behind me. It's just comfortable. Let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be talking about the Elisa Lam incident. I know it's kind of a common one. A lot of people have talked this one to death, but it's one that a lot of people have talked about, and it's kind of one that I'm going to use to segue back into, me talking about this stuff and doing this again. Someone also told me to not do as much editing, not worry as much about trying to make things look perfectly presentable or whatever. I'm just going to kind of go with the flow, and hopefully people don't hate it. If they do, they do. So let's go ahead and start. This was all the way back in 2013. You're going to see me looking down a lot. I write notes down so that I don't misspeak or misremember something. I just would like to be factual. On February 19th of 2013. So this was a little while ago, 10 years now. Well, close to 10 years. It's not February 19th yet. Let's see. It was the body of, she was a Canadian tourist, Elisa Lam. She was discovered in the cistern at the top of the Stay on Main Hotel in downtown LA. I didn't actually know that was in LA. That's interesting. She was last seen on January 13th. So by the time they found her body, it had been almost 3 weeks. That's a pretty long time. And she was reported missing on February 1st. So it took them 18 days to find her. That's nuts. Her body was discovered by hotel staff due to complaints on the water pressure issues. Footage of her acting scared and erratic was found and reviewed by the police on February 13th. So I guess they reported her missing on the 1st. They weren't 100% where she was staying, maybe, or something, because it took them almost 2 weeks to review the footage. And then, yeah, that's a pretty long time to not be evaluating security tapes when someone's reported missing. It's odd to me. So in this footage, I will show a clip of it here in a minute. She was acting really erratic. She was acting scared, but they didn't see anyone in any of the footage following her, and they didn't see anything like that. So let me go ahead and put a clip of that on. I will try not to talk over it or anything, but maybe a little bit of light commentary. There's no audio to it, though. As you can see, that's her. At least the family identified that as her in the footage. And it's pretty obvious. You can see her face and her outfit and stuff like that, so it's pretty easy to recognize her if you knew her. She's acting very paranoid, as you can tell. She's like looking outside, looking around. I think that right there, that behavior, is what they see as like paranoid, because she was like hiding in the corner. Sorry if you can hear my pet bird, Pancake. It's a cockatiel. Eat your breakfast, Pancake. So it's not just paranoid or, scared. It's really odd how she's acting. I think that's why they described it as erratic, because she's not just acting scared, she's kind of like, I don't want to call it pacing. It's kind of like pacing outside the elevator. Also, did she not hit a button on this elevator? Because it's been sitting with the door open for a long time. Like, it's odd, right? She has hit all the buttons. Which is something you would do if you're trying to confuse someone who's looking for you, but also someone who's not entirely mentally stable might do. So it's kind of hard to tell from just pure actions why she'd be acting like that. Take a drink on my coffee. Sorry if you could hear that. I was just getting my coffee. Still acting very odd. How long is this clip? Okay, we're at the end of it basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch back. Okay, so as you can see in the footage, she's acting very erratic, paranoid, scared. But it's not just scared, which is what's strange. She's acting all over the place. And I did cut it off a little early, but there was only a few seconds left. She didn't stay on the elevator. She hit all the buttons and then never rode the elevator, which is so odd to me. Maybe she didn't actually hit the buttons, but why did the door stay open so long? And why didn't she stay on the elevator if she was going to take the elevator up? That's weird, right? I'm not sure about that. Let's see. A lot of people suspected based on footage that maybe she was on drugs or something. But there was an autopsy performed 2 days after she was found, but the cause of death was unable to be determined, and there was no drugs found in her system. And the theory is that she was in the cistern so long that pretty much everything that was in her bloodstream and such was dissipated. Like everything was too diluted and destroyed to basically figure out what had happened or she had anything in her system. Which is, it kind of leads to the next thing, where they were talking about how she had bipolar disorder and that her medication levels were, like the amount of medication she had left in her bottle, were way too much. That considering the amount of time she had been on tour in LA, she should have been lower. But at the same time, that one I personally think it's not a guarantee that even mattered. Because I know, like, with my thyroid medication, they fill that days in advance before I'm even out. With inhalers, with most medications, they will fill that days in advance if it's not a controlled substance, at least. They'll fill that in advance, and then you have extra. So maybe she just hadn't gotten to the point where she had used all of her previous supply. Because I imagine that they didn't count her pills before she went on tour, and what it is that they're going based on the date that she filled it and the amount that she would have. But you would also try to get it filled in advance for going on tour, to have it with you. Because you may not be able to get the pharmacy to send a prescription, across the country or something. But I digress. So, the theories that start to surround this, they don't really anything that I saw didn't really talk about the fact that she didn't stay on the elevator and that the elevator didn't close the doors or move. That part's kind of odd to me, but it's not a conspiracy in itself. It's just weird. I don't know. Maybe it was out of service or something, but I didn't see anything about it. The theories that actually start to surround this are based around how she got to the roof and how she got in the cistern. So, starting with the roof, basically, they don't understand how she got up there in the first place, or at least they're not entirely sure. According to the staff, it's not a guarantee that they're telling the truth or they didn't realize that they had left it unlocked and then locked it. There's two different access doors that go to the roof, but they are both locked at all times, which a lot of hotels do that. They don't want people going to the roof. There's no guarantee that a staff member didn't go up there for something and then, didn't lock it or block it or something like that. But there is also a fire escape at a window next to the stairs that lead up. And the fire escape apparently goes directly to the roof unhindered. So the main theory on how she got to the roof is that right there. It's a pretty viable theory. The windows aren't sealed or shut. Anybody can go out on the fire escape because it's a fire escape. It has to be available. So easily could have got to the roof. That's not really a good theory, conspiracy of any kind. It just got to the roof. Not hard. Next, how did she get in the cistern, and why did it take so long for people to find her? So, how she got in the cistern is actually a little bit odd to me, because according to the staff, what was it? The cisterns are 8x4, so they're 4 feet across and 8 feet tall, right? And it takes two staff, according to them, with ladders to lift the lid of the cistern, which is supposed to be locked. Now, again, easily could have had staff not lock it like they're supposed to. That could have been unlocked. That's not the problem. The problem is, how did she manage to lift the lid and get into it? Now, my theory on this is a little loose, but it's the same theory that a lot of other people probably have, is that they had ladders up there. They don't have any photos or anything like that for you to just look at the cistern and see, did they leave a ladder up or anything like that. A lot of cisterns that are large like that have a ladder built in for people to climb up, because you're on the roof. It's going to be a pain in the ass to get a ladder up there all the damn time. Sorry if you can see my cat walking away. She's had enough of me. So, my guess, well, hypothesis, I guess, because it's a lot of people's educated guess. There we go. Educated guess, not hypothesis. Educated guess that she climbed that, and she was in fact trying to hide from someone, or at least because bipolar disorder can cause you to be very paranoid. If she did underdose or forgot to take medication or something like that, she very easily could have been having like a psychotic episode where she was just being very paranoid. Sorry if that offends anyone. That's my understanding of it. That doesn't necessarily mean that's how it works, but to me, that's my understanding, is that bipolar disorder can cause you to be very, very paranoid, especially if you're not being medicated properly. Doesn't mean everyone does, but that's the theory. So either she was being chased, or she thought she was being chased, and she went up the ladder, and she kind of pushed one side open, because it's got the hinges in the back, and they said it was like a 300-pound lid, which is heavy, but if you're only lifting one side of it, you don't have to lift 300 pounds. You only have to lift as much as that one point has on it. So maybe 100 pounds, which would be hard to do, but that's why I think that maybe that's what happened, because standing on a ladder and pushing on it, she probably could worm her way in, like, a cat would slip into something, or an animal, like, pushes his way into a garbage can and then gets stuck, or something like that. It's the same premise where it's easier to get in than it is to get out, because a cistern has nothing on the inside to help her get back out. Cisterns aren't built that way. Maybe it has a ladder on the inside, but most cisterns that I saw when I was researching, they aren't built like that. You aren't supposed to get in unless you have special equipment. So maybe she slipped herself in on one side, and she started drowning and was like, hey, how do I get out? It's a 300-pound lid. with nothing for her to stand on now, so she couldn't get herself back out, and she drowned. That's my theory on how she got in. Now, why it took them, God, what was it? 18 days from, no, 20 days total, from January 31st to February 19th to even find her? That seems insane to me, considering the footage all took place at this hotel, and the only footage they had was her going to the roof, and they didn't have any, like, dead bodies around the building, and they didn't have her, like, they didn't find her in the building. So you would think to look everywhere on the roof, right? Because that's the last thing they saw was her going, in and out of the elevator and stuff like that. Maybe I'm, overestimating or over expecting. I am unsure. But to me, I feel like if I was investigating, one of the places I would check is a big metal tube that somebody could fit in. Or maybe it just seems so insane to think that she could fit in there that she just simply, they didn't even think to look. Because according to what they said, the only reason they even checked it was that the water in the hotel started having pressure issues. Because this cistern, holds all the water up top, it's pumped in, and then gravity does a lot of the work in terms of pushing water pressure out. At least that, again, is my understanding. I'm not a plumber or anything of the sort. Basic research, that's what it told me. So that kind of tracks. So I'm going to go to my next page, see what else I got. Let's see. Okay, so that's honestly the gist of it. There's not a lot that goes outside of that. I know that the family tried to sue the hotel for negligence, and it was thrown out. Unfortunately, because they couldn't really prove that the hotel had done anything. Everything was locked when the police checked. So unfortunately they lost that case. And I mean, I'm not sure that the hotel did anything wrong. I'm not sure that anything happened that they could have prevented. Unfortunately, that's one of those things that you just can't really know unless you were there. And it's just really tragic that she even died. And I think that they were maybe just trying to find some sort of solace in, getting anything to help them grieve. But regardless of that, everything, kind of an overview from what I've seen. One, I think it was really easy for her to get to the roof. I do not think that there is a conspiracy there. I don't think she had to try at all to get to the roof, actually. And she just went up the fire escape. That doesn't seem like anything. The elevator is still very curious to me, but the elevator could have just been out of order. And then she took the stairs and then got to the roof, realized it was locked, went on the fire escape instead. Easy. As for how she got into the cistern, I believe that perhaps she got up there and did worm her way in. It's supposed to be locked, but it's kind of like if you've ever had a trash can lock where it's just one piece on the front is locked so that you can't lift it all the way, but you can still kind of lift the sides up and put stuff in. And she's rather slender. She could have fit. Sorry, one second, my cat's being ridiculous. I'm doing something, Athena. You gotta wait. Kit Kat. Alright, so in conclusion, I don't think there's a conspiracy here. They didn't see any bodies. Any bodies? They didn't see anybody, around. They didn't see anybody chasing her. She didn't have anything on her phone that, was like, oh, we're going to get you or anything like that. I think, unfortunately, this is just someone who, went on a trip, maybe forgot to medicate, and had a paranoid episode, and she ended up hiding in a terrible, terrible spot and died tragically. Ow. Cat just jumped on my lap, sorry. I do not think that there is a conspiracy here, unfortunately. Come here, Athena. This is the kitty. You can barely see her in the video. Sweet kitty cat. I'm doing something, though. You gotta get down. Go on. Anyway. I hope you enjoyed. This was kind of like just a starter episode. Here very soon, I'm going to get into some more advanced stuff. I'm kind of considering Look at my list real quick. I had a bunch of stuff I was looking at. Where is it? There it is. So I was looking at Doltov Pass. I was looking at the Philosopher's Stone. Let's see. The Hadron Collider and how maybe there's like a time traveling thing going on. I was looking at Oil Pit Squids, People of the Mount, Crystal Skulls, and a couple of other things. I have a bunch of different conspiracy theory stuff I'd like to cover. This was kind of just a starter thing to get me into it, to get me back into recording videos. The goal is every Sunday to record and edit and put out a video. So if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment, or tell me how good or bad a job I did. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.